Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari has created a stir in Formula One. This switch from Mercedes marks one of the biggest transfers in F1 history. While fans are excited, racing legend Nigel Mansell has stepped forward with a striking prediction about Hamilton's future at the Italian team. His assessment of Hamilton's prospects at Ferrari has captured attention throughout the motorsport world. Hamilton's historic move to Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton made headlines when he announced his departure from Mercedes after a decade-long stint with the team. The seven-time world champion signed with Ferrari, replacing Spanish racing star Carlos Sainz. This move has sent shockwaves through the motorsport community, with many questioning whether Hamilton, at 40 years old, can achieve the same level of success with a new team. Hamilton's move to Ferrari represents more than just a change of teams. For the British driver, joining the Italian manufacturer fulfills what he has described as a childhood dream. After winning 6 of his 7 world championships with Mercedes, Hamilton now sees Ferrari as his opportunity to fight for a record-breaking 8th world title. The transition began officially at the start of 2025 with an emotional visit to Ferrari's Maranello headquarters. Since then, Hamilton has been familiarizing himself with Ferrari machinery, first testing older cars, before getting his first taste of the SF25 Challenger during a private run at Fiorano and at the official preseason test in Bahrain. Nigel Mansell's bold endorsement. Former Ferrari driver Nigel Mansell has thrown his full support behind Hamilton's move. The 1992 world champion, who raced for Ferrari in 1989 and 1990, spoke to Sky Sports at the F1 7.5 live event in London's O2 Arena. His words carry significant weight in the Formula One community, especially considering his own experience with the prancing horse. Mansell said, "I think it's absolutely brilliant, I have to say. I think he's got most of the fans behind him. I'm certainly behind him. I think he can do it. It's so exciting for him and Ferrari. I think it will be the most amazing year to watch. And we have the excitement before us." Mansell, now 71 years old, doesn't make such bold claims lightly. The last British driver to win a Formula One race while driving for Ferrari, Mansell maintains a strong following among the Ferrari faithful. The Italian fans nicknamed him Il Leone, or the Lion, for his relentless attacking style and big heart on the track. What makes Mansell's endorsement particularly powerful is his understanding of what it takes to succeed at Ferrari. He recognizes the pressure and expectations that come with driving for such a storied team. When Mansell says, "I think he can do it," it's a statement backed by personal experience and deep knowledge of Formula One. Mansell's dream for 2025. Speaking to Mail Sport on the F175 red carpet, Mansell revealed his biggest wish for the 2025 Formula One season.
You know, it's a wonderful question, hard to answer, so I'll do my best. It'll be a dream come true for Lewis to win his first race with Ferrari, because then that sets the pattern.
The former world champion emphasized how long Ferrari has been waiting for championship success. He said,
Ferrari is so long overdue to win the Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship, so with Charles Leclerc and Lewis, I sincerely hope they get it done. I really do. It'd be magical for Lewis to win another World Championship, and I wish him all the very, very, very best.
Ferrari's last driver's title came in 2007 with Kimi Räikkönen, while their last constructor's title was in 2008. This drought has been painful for the passionate Tifosi fans, and Mansell believes the Hamilton-Leclerc pairing could finally end it. Jean Alesi echoes Mansell's support. Mansell isn't the only former Ferrari driver backing Hamilton. Jean Alesi, who represented Ferrari from 1991 through 1995 and took his sole Grand Prix win with the team, shared similar thoughts on the red carpet at the F175 event. Alesi said, "I know many people in Ferrari. He impressed everybody. He impressed everybody with his presence, the way he presents himself to the team. It was really a cultural shock for Ferrari to have such a champion. Without taking anything away from Charles and Carlos, so far he impressed everybody." Alesi also suggested that Hamilton's arrival would benefit his new teammate Charles Leclerc. Charles is going to be definitely more competitive, having such a champion with him. Lewis will give him definitely more motivation. It's F1. You have to be tough and fast, and I'm sure that is the case for Charles. This dynamic between Hamilton and Leclerc will be fascinating to watch. Leclerc has experience working with world champions, having partnered with Sebastian Vettel in 2019 and 2020. However, Hamilton's 7 world championships and status as one of the greatest drivers in Formula One history puts him in a different category entirely. Hamilton's testing performance raises expectations. Early signs from preseason testing in Bahrain have been positive for Hamilton. His performance has caused his odds for winning the 2025 Drivers' Championship to shorten dramatically from 8-1 to 5-1 with bookmakers. Day 2 of testing saw Hamilton set the second fastest time, an impressive feat considering he was still building up experience with his new engineer. While testing results must always be taken with caution, teams often hide their true performance. Hamilton's strong showing has generated considerable excitement. Speaking in Bahrain, Hamilton explained that he was really enjoying his time behind the wheel of the SF25, with his sole focus being to win at Ferrari. This positive mindset, combined with the technical capabilities of Ferrari's new car, suggests Hamilton could hit the ground running when the season begins. The competitive landscape for 2025. The 2025 Formula One season promises to be one of the most competitive in recent memory. 4 teams, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes, are expected to battle for supremacy throughout the year. Mansell highlighted this expected 4-way fight.
But the exciting thing about Formula One in 2025 is that Max won't lie down with Red Bull. I think they've done a good job with the car over the winter, so I've heard. McLaren, outstanding what they did last year, and I mean, if they got their act together a little bit sooner, they could have gone for the World Championship. So both Lando and Piastri are going to be challenging. And of course, you mustn't forget Mercedes with George Russell and that. They're not going to lie down. Toto Wolff's not there to make the numbers up. So you got 4 fantastic teams. You got the most incredible 2025 season of Formula One.
Current betting odds reflect this competitive landscape. McLaren's Lando Norris remains the favorite for the Drivers' Championship at 15-8, while Hamilton is currently listed as the 4th favorite at 5-1. For the Constructors' Championship, McLaren has shortened to evens favorites with Ferrari close behind. Red Bull's assessment of Hamilton. Not everyone is convinced Hamilton will immediately succeed at Ferrari. Red Bull chief Helmut Marko has offered a more cautious assessment after studying the testing data from Bahrain. According to F1 Insider, when asked about how he thinks the grid will look at the start of the 2025 season, Marko explained, Norris is in front, followed by Max, then Ferrari with Leclerc and Mercedes. Notably, Marko mentioned Leclerc but not Hamilton in his ranking of Ferrari's drivers. This omission might reflect a belief that Hamilton will take time to adapt to his new team. Mercedes insiders reportedly shared similar concerns after witnessing Hamilton's first day of testing, a viewpoint that Marko apparently agreed with. However, underestimating Hamilton has proven foolish many times before. Throughout his career, the 7-time world champion has repeatedly defied expectations and overcome challenges. His move to Ferrari at age 40 represents yet another opportunity to prove his exceptional talent and adaptability. Have you ever wondered what happens when you take the world's most advanced race car, strip away all the rules, and let engineers go wild? Well, in 2018, Porsche gave us the answer with the 919 Hybrid Evo, a car so fast it made Formula One look like they were stuck in first gear. Porsche isn't just any car manufacturer. When it comes to motorsport, they're royalty. Since their first race at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1951, they've become the undisputed kings of the track. We're talking about a staggering 108 class wins and 19 overall victories. That's not just impressive, it's downright domination. But the story of the 919 Hybrid Evo begins in 2014 when Porsche decided to return to top-tier racing after a decade-long hiatus. They unveiled the 919 Hybrid at the Geneva Motor Show, and it was clear from the get-go that this wasn't just another race car. This was Porsche flexing its engineering muscles. The original 919 Hybrid was a marvel of modern engineering. At its heart was a compact 2.0-liter V4 turbocharged engine producing around 500 horsepower. But that was just the start. The car also featured 2 energy recovery systems, one harvesting energy from braking, the other from exhaust gases. This hybrid system could boost the total power output to over 900 horsepower. But here's where it gets really interesting. The 919 Hybrid was the only car among LMP1 manufacturers to recover energy from both the exhaust system and braking. Despite all this tech, the car was still incredibly light, weighing in at just 875 kilograms. How did they manage that T? Well, the chassis and body were made with a combination of carbon fiber and aluminum, giving it the perfect blend of strength and lightness. The car's aerodynamics weren't an afterthought either. Porsche's engineers spent over 2,000 hours in wind tunnels, fine-tuning every curve and edge. That's more time than most of us spend on our smartphones in a year. When the 2014 season kicked off, all eyes were on the 919 Hybrid. Its first outing at the 6 Hours of Silverstone saw it finish a respectable third. But Le Mans? Well, that's a different beast altogether. The 919th struggled, finishing 11th, a full 31 laps behind the winning Audi. It was a tough pill to swallow for a team used to dominating. But Porsche went back to the drawing board, tweaked, adjusted, and improved. From 2015 to 2017, the 919 Hybrid became the car to beat in the World Endurance Championship. It racked up 3 consecutive Le Mans victories and dominated the championship. By 2017, the 919 Hybrid had become a finely tuned racing machine. About 60% of its recovered energy came from the kinetic energy recovery system, which charged the lithium-ion batteries under braking. The remaining 40% came from the exhaust recovery system. This made the 919th the only prototype to recover energy during both braking and accelerating. But then, in a move that shocked the racing world, Porsche announced they were leaving the WEC at the end of 2017. After 3 years of mastering the regulations and pushing the boundaries of speed and endurance, they were calling it quits. But Porsche had one last trick up their sleeve. Instead of quietly retiring the 919 Hybrid, Porsche decided to give it one last hurrah. They asked themselves a simple question: what if we threw away the rule book? And thus, the 919 Hybrid Evo was born. The creation of the Evo version was like unleashing a group of genius engineers in a playground with no rules. Imagine spending years learning how to skydive, only to be told you can't jump. That's how these engineers must have felt every time they had to tune down engines and reduce speeds to meet regulations. Now, they were free to push the limits. First up, they gave the car a massive horsepower boost. Without fuel flow restrictions, the V4 engine now produced a whopping 720 horsepower, up from 500. The electric motor got a 10% boost too, pumping out 440 horsepower. Combined, the 919 Hybrid Evo produced 1,160 horsepower. That's enough power to make an average supercar look like a golf cart. But power wasn't enough. They needed to make the car stick to the track like glue. The aerodynamics package was completely overhauled, resulting in 53% more downforce than the WEC Spec 919 Hybrid. A huge part of this came from a massive new rear wing, which, despite its size, actually generated less drag on the straights. Porsche claimed this gave the 919 Hybrid Evo more downforce than the average Formula One car. Then came the weight loss program. Without the burden of WEC regulations, Porsche put the 919 on a strict diet. They stripped out everything that wasn't absolutely necessary: air conditioning, windscreen wipers, even the headlights. The result was a lean, mean racing machine weighing just 849 kilograms. But they didn't stop there. A 4-wheel brake-by-wire system was installed, along with modified power steering and beefed-up suspension. Even tire manufacturer Michelin got in on the action, developing new compounds to offer more grip without compromising safety. With all these modifications, the 919 Hybrid Evo was ready to show the world what it could do. On April 9, 2018, the car made its way to the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. This 7-kilometer track is a favorite among drivers and fans for its long straights and challenging corners. It was the perfect stage for Porsche's grand finale. The previous year, the 919 Hybrid had set a pole position time of 1 minute and 54.097 seconds. With Neil Johnny behind the wheel, the 919 Hybrid Evo obliterated that time, clocking in at 1 minute and 41.770 seconds. That's more than 12 seconds faster. To put that into perspective, in motorsport, teams spend months working on upgrades that might shave off a few tenths of a second. The 919 Hybrid Evo had just found 12 whole seconds. This wasn't just faster than the WEC Spec 919 Hybrid. This time was faster than any Formula One car had ever lapped Spa. The 919 Hybrid Evo had just beaten the track record set by Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes F1 car by 0.783 seconds. The last time Porsche had raced in Formula One was 1964, but here they were in 2018, showing the pinnacle of motorsport how it's done. During this record-breaking run, Johnny hit a top speed of 359 kilometers per hour on the Kemmel Straight and maintained an average speed of 245.61 kilometers per hour around the entire lap. Through the infamous Eau Rouge corner, one of the most thrilling and dangerous turns in motorsport, Johnny was clocking 307 kilometers per hour. When asked about the experience, Johnny could barely contain his excitement. He said it was the fastest car he had ever driven, which, coming from a professional racing driver, is saying something. But it wasn't just the speed that impressed him. The level of grip, he said, was unimaginable and in a fully new dimension. The speed at which everything happened was so overwhelming that Johnny had to significantly alter his reaction times just to keep the car on track. But the 919 Hybrid Evo wasn't done breaking records. In June 2018, it set its sights on the holy grail of lap records, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Known as the Green Hell, this 20.8-kilometer track is considered one of the most demanding in the world. The previous record, set in 1983 by Stefan Beloff in a Porsche 956C, stood at 6 minutes and 11.13 seconds. With Timo Bernhard at the wheel, the 919 Hybrid Evo didn't just break this record, it absolutely demolished it. Bernhard lapped the Nordschleife in an astonishing 5 minutes and 19.55 seconds. That's nearly a minute faster than a record that had stood for 35 years. Bernhard later attributed this mind-bending performance to downforce levels he had never experienced before. The car's unique aerodynamics allowed him to take some of the most precarious sections of the track at full throttle. "I'm pretty familiar with the Nordschleife," he said, "but today I got to learn it in a new way." The Formula One world was stunned when Lewis Hamilton announced his move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. This unexpected shift has left fans and analysts questioning the circumstances surrounding Hamilton's departure from Mercedes, his home for over a decade. Toto Wolff, Mercedes team principal, has now come forward with revelations about Hamilton's final season that provide new insights into this major change in the F1 landscape. The 2024 season proved to be one of the most challenging in Lewis Hamilton's illustrious career. George Russell, Hamilton's teammate, outqualified him 19 times to 5, a stark contrast in qualifying performance that was unprecedented for Hamilton. The challenges extended beyond qualifying. Russell finished the season 22 points ahead of Hamilton in the driver's standings, marking only the third time in Hamilton's career that he was outscored by a teammate over a full season. For a driver of Hamilton's caliber, accustomed to leading both his team and the championship, this result was particularly disappointing. Key moments of frustration punctuated the season, offering glimpses into Hamilton's state of mind. A notable incident occurred after a poor performance at the São Paulo Grand Prix. Hamilton's radio message to his team was, "If this is the last time that I get to perform, it's a shame it wasn't great, but grateful for you." This cryptic communication led to widespread speculation about Hamilton's future in the sport. The speculation intensified when Hamilton later admitted in Las Vegas that he had briefly considered not finishing the season. "In the moment, that's how I felt. I didn't really want to come back after that weekend." Hamilton himself acknowledged the frustration of the season, stating, "It's frustrating when you have a season like this, which I'm pretty sure I won't have again, or at least I'll work towards not having again." These statements painted a picture of a driver grappling with disappointment and uncertainty, fueling rumors about his commitment to Mercedes during his final season. Rumors and speculation had Hamilton mentally checked out. As news of Hamilton's impending move to Ferrari began to circulate, rumors about his commitment to Mercedes during the 2024 season started to swirl. Some suggested that Hamilton had mentally checked out, focusing more on his future with Ferrari than his present with Mercedes. F1 journalist Ben Hunt speculated on the James Allen F1 podcast. He handed his notice in at the start of the year, and he was serving his notice he'd kind of checked out. This perception was fueled by Hamilton's uncharacteristic performance dips and his sometimes cryptic public statements. In light of these rumors, Toto Wolff's recent statements come as a surprise to many. Speaking to Automotor on Sport, Wolff firmly denied claims that Hamilton had mentally checked out or was more focused on Ferrari than Mercedes during the 2024 season. Wolff stated, "I don't think his head was in his new team yet. Lewis is too professional for that." This defense of Hamilton's professionalism stands in stark contrast to the prevailing narrative. Wolff went further, pointing to Hamilton's performance in the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi as evidence of his strong commitment. In that race, Hamilton started from a disappointing 16th position due to a poor strategic call by the team. However, he charged through the field to finish 4th, even overtaking his teammate Russell on the final lap. Wolff commented on this performance, saying, "That performance showed the Lewis we all know, a fighter until the end.